Everything just fell perfectly into place for the Los Angeles Lakers following a brand new report surrounding one particular player that has many Lakers fans fired up and very intrigued. We're going to break down exactly who this is and discuss what it means going forward, as well as a few other updates on this episode, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Lakers content. Folks, a lot to go over today. Some interesting new things have dropped, revealing that everything's fallen perfectly into place surrounding a signing. Also, a little bit of information on JJ Redick's plan going forward surrounding the starting lineup. Let's dive right into it. Let's not waste any more of your folks' time. You can see right here from Michael Scott on this dropped a couple of days ago. Just in, Charlotte Hornets are waiving Nick Smith Jr. League sources told Hoops Hype. He averaged 9.9 points and 2.4 assists in 22.8 minutes a game last year, while starting almost 30. So almost half of his games played for the Hornets. Shot 37% from three-point range so far during his NBA career. Now, folks, I want to dive into this. So obviously, Nick Smith Jr., if you're unfamiliar, former decent pick from the Hornets, they decided to waive him. Now, I did some research because this opened up immediately a bunch, and this is just one of many tweets and speculation surrounding Nick Smith Jr. potentially being an option for the Lakers here. And bear with me because I know there's obviously can't sign a player outright. Lakers, please sign him so I can view him as our 2023 first-round draft pick and forget what the actual pick was. So this is where things get interesting. Now, do the Lakers need someone like Nick Smith Jr.? Is he a great defender? All these different questions can be asked. Let's dive into his stats. He is not a great defender. He's pretty short, but he's only 20 years old, coming off of a pretty good sophomore year. 9.9 points, shooting 39% from the field, and I mean 34% from three. Shot really good three-point range in his rookie season, of course, with more volume. Double the volume, went down a significant amount, almost 10%. However, this would be a very unique opportunity here for a, of course, two-way contract. Now, I don't think the Lakers would go ahead and actually give this guy a full contract because they had to make a roster spot. The roster's full. They're not going to sign somebody outright, but a two-way guy. And these are the signings, and these are the signings that are quite intriguing to me. And I saw a ton of tweets about it, so I wanted to bring it to you guys to let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on it. Because again, he is not someone who would make the league right away or anything like that potentially, but I mean, a 20-year-old former, first-round talent that averaged 10 points a game last year that the Lakers could bring in and, have as a potential option, whether that be to replace some of the guys they, send off in a trade, whether that's, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber. Of course, Maxi Kleber's a big Gabe Vincent's starting point guard or backup point guard, sorry. Could be an interesting move. And there was some insight on Reddit from a Hornets fan saying, yeah, this isn't particularly surprising to me, but he'll get picked up elsewhere. We have a roster crunch, and there's no way he's ever seen the floor behind LaMelo, Sexton, Khan, Mann, Miller, or even Dinwiddie in our backcourt. To kind of give you guys some context as to why, Nick Smith Jr. here was actually let go. They have an abundance of backcourt players. Now, the Lakers don't really, but he gives us a bit of a scouting report here. Pretty much the textbook dime a dozen scoring combo guard. Not quite efficient enough to overcome being mediocre at everything else, but he can definitely heat it up. He's a very good outside shooter, but streaky. Something that I don't think the Lakers, they have some streaky shooters. Now, let's look at their bench and where, hypothetically, let's say they sign him to a two-way contract and he ended up fitting in. I'm never going to underestimate the Lakers for making weird moves, whether that be Nick Smith Jr., whether that be, of course, in the broader scale, a massive trade of Luka Doncic. A lot of different ways here to go about things. But the very intriguing aspect of all of this is, hey, this is a very unique player, and could he be a spark plug off the bench? Sure. Is he what they need defensively? Absolutely not. Would this be a big signing that they make? Absolutely not. It would be probably a two-way deal in this case. But you look at the Lakers' bench scoring in particular. Gabe Vincent, not an explosive scorer. Marcus Smart, not an explosive scorer. Jake LaRavia could be an explosive scorer. And then, of course, Vando, Hayes, even Knecht. Knecht could be an explosive scorer as well, but, it is what it is. Nick Smith Jr. could give you a bit of a, smaller combo guard who can come in and be like a Jordan Clarkson type. And I think that's someone that if you're the Lakers and he's available, take a flyer on him on a two-way contract. I think you could do a lot worse, and having guys within the system makes everything better for everybody, right? We saw Jordan Goodwin last year, signed him to a two-way deal. He made an immediate impact and even into the postseason. Of course, now with, Nick Smith Jr., no one else signs him. Decent scoring combo guard, stuck behind a ton in the backcourt for the Hornets. The Lakers don't have that same abundance of riches. Yes, you have Doncic and Reaves in the, obviously in your starting lineup, and then your backcourt and secondaries is, your second unit is Vincent and I guess Bronny James. Now, that could be an interesting thing. Would they rather give Bronny James the minutes? Yes, but also two different types of players. Bronny James, more of a defensive-minded guard, whereas Nick Smith Jr. is more of a combo guard. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. I think it's a very interesting one, and if the Lakers do want to pursue that, things fell perfectly into place. And I think it could be an actual steal here for the Lakers if they're able to go ahead and grab Nick Smith Jr. Again, this isn't a move that's going to blow up, the news cycle and everything like that, but could be one that we look back at. Again, a former first-round talent. But let's dive into a couple other things. Now, of course, as the starting lineup starts to unfold here and as the regular season starts to unfold, there remains a lot of questions about that exact starting lineup. And I use this, I believe, it's CBS Sports, depth chart here to show you guys. Doncic, Reaves, Rui, LeBron, Ayton. A new bit of information has dropped surrounding Lakers head coach JJ Redick's starting 5 decision is now down to 6 players, insider believes. And all you guys kind of play along here and comment down below your ideal starting 5. Now, before we get into this report, mine consists of somewhere with Marcus Smart in there, whether that's replacing Reaves and having Reaves as the backup point guard to run the bench unit, or replacing it for Rui Hachimura and having Rui Hachimura's explosiveness off the bench. Now, you can see this here, that an insider came out and said Price was the insider, though argues that given the way that Redick talked about guard Austin Reaves during a media day presser this past week, he anticipates Redick will continue to start Reaves at least to tip off the 2025-2026 season. Doncic, James, and center DeAndre Ayton are virtually locked in as starters. Price writes, Redick said Doncic and Reaves will be the team's primary ball handlers, suggesting Reaves is also expected to start, leaving one final slot open in the first unit. So, and I covered this briefly, of course, what he said in the presser. I don't think this is necessarily fully true. I still think there's a world where Reaves doesn't start, but I think it's most likely he does here, which would leave Rui Hachimura in exchange for Marcus Smart. Now, would you guys prefer a lineup of Doncic, Reaves, Rui, LeBron, Ayton, or Doncic, Reaves, Smart, LeBron, Ayton, with Rui off the bench, still playing 30 minutes a game, but then you immediately have a point of attack defender that you do not have otherwise? Now, where does that leave LeBron? Does that have him guarding quick power forwards? Does that have him guarding quick small forwards? Where can he, guard himself defensively? He's not great anymore. How can that work? A lot of that comes down to how LeBron's feeling. And with these lineups, right, like if you put in Smart for Rui, yes, offensively, pretty seamless fit in the sense of they do similar things. They can both score off balls, my point. They're not really similar scorers. And Smart's a much better playmaker. But you kind of have 3-4 playmakers on the floor then. How does that implicate? How are the implications on that on LeBron James playing defensively? It could be interesting there. And of course, then the big question, the overarching question and theme here is how effective can LA's big 3 be together? The fit of Reaves, Doncic, and James, 3 ball-dominant players who aren't particularly good defenders, had led to questions about Reaves' role with LA going forward, especially after, we know that when they got destroyed in the playoffs in round 1 against the Timberwolves are a horrible matchup for Austin Reaves. We knew that. You had McDaniels on him, Jalen McDaniels on him. You had, of course, other really lengthy guys, Anthony Edwards on, Reaves to a degree. Reaves couldn't create anything. However, all these things have to be put into question. And then, of course, with Rui Hachimura, he's been starting the last 1.5 seasons. How will that unfold? Ultimately, I believe it's going to be Marcus Smart in for Rui, and they figure out the rest. But let me know down below what you guys think about it as these things continue to unfold. Folks, things are picking up. This is the place to be for daily Lakers content, multiple videos every single day for you all. You guys are absolute beasts of the support. Continue the daily content, daily uploads. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know down below who you would start. Would it be Smart? He's a beast as well. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.